You don't walk into a room with confidence. You walk in with a script, and everyone can hear it, without you saying a word. Not your voice, not your clothes, not your resume. Your script. The one that whispers, "Don't speak too loud. Don't take up space. They're better than you." And here's the part no one tells you. That voice decides your rank before you even open your mouth. Give me a minute, and I'll show you something uncomfortable. Something you won't be able to unsee. Because this isn't about confidence. It's about hierarchy. And your mind has already placed you somewhere in it. You ever noticed how two people can walk into the same room and get treated completely differently? Same opportunity, same environment, same rules. One gets interrupted, ignored, talked over. The other? Listened to, deferred to, respected. You think that's luck? No. It's signaling, but not the kind you think. Because long before anyone judges you, you've already judged yourself. And your subconscious doesn't keep that quiet. It leaks through posture, eye contact, tone, timing, hesitation, even silence, especially silence. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Every day, your mind is running thousands of thoughts. Most of them don't matter, but a few, they repeat over and over. I'm not that interesting. I don't belong here. I shouldn't push too much. And repetition is dangerous, because your brain doesn't care if it's true. It cares if it's familiar. So it hears that script enough times and decides, this must be reality. And once your brain believes something is real, it starts building behavior around it. Subtle at first. You hesitate before speaking. You soften your opinions. You laugh when you shouldn't. You agree when you don't. Not because you're weak, because your internal script told you that's your place. And people respond accordingly. Not consciously, but instinctively. They read the signal. They feel it. They adjust to it. And just like that, your inner dialogue becomes your social position. Let me make this sharper. You don't get treated how you deserve. You get treated how you signal you deserve. And your signals come from your thoughts, not your intentions. Pause for a second. Think about the last time you held back, not because you had nothing to say, but because something inside you said, don't. That wasn't caution, that was programming. A script written somewhere in your past, rehearsed silently, until it became automatic. And here's the part that stings. That script didn't just affect that moment. It reinforced your identity. Every time you obey it, you're telling your brain, this is who I am. And your brain says, got it. Let's make it consistent. So now it's not just one moment of hesitation. It's a pattern, a personality, a reputation. This is how people get stuck. Not because they lack ability, but because their internal dialogue never gave them permission to use it. You can have the skills, the intelligence, the ideas, but if your script says, stay small, you will perform small, every time. And the world will reflect that back to you. Cold, indifferent, dismissive. Not because it's unfair, but because it's responding to the version of you that showed up. Let that land, because this is where most people check out. They want to believe their environment is the problem, that people are just unfair, that opportunities are limited. Sometimes that's true, but most of the time, the limitation is internal, invisible, and deeply practiced. Now, here's the twist. Your subconscious isn't trying to sabotage you, it's trying to protect you from rejection, from embarrassment, from failure. So it creates rules. Don't risk too much. Stay safe. Blend in. And the more you listen, the more those rules harden into identity. But safety has a cost. It lowers your perceived value. Because in every social environment,
people unconsciously rank each other: who leads, who follows, who gets heard. And that ranking is influenced by one thing above all else: certainty. Not arrogance, not perfection, certainty. And you cannot fake certainty if your inner voice is full of doubt, because doubt bleeds through everything, even when you try to hide it. So the question isn't, why don't people respect me? The real question is, what am I rehearsing about myself every single day? Because whatever that is, you're broadcasting it, constantly. And until you interrupt that broadcast, your reality won't change.
Let's get uncomfortable, because this is where it stops being theory and starts being personal. Your inner dialogue isn't just describing your life, it's designing it. Every time you think, "I'm not ready yet," your brain doesn't argue. It complies. It delays action. You hesitate. You wait. You overthink. And suddenly, you're invisible. Not because you lack presence, because you denied it internally. Now, flip it. Imagine a different script. I'm figuring this out as I go. I can handle this. I belong in this room. Same person, same skills, different signal. And the behavior shifts instantly. You speak sooner. You hold eye contact longer. You don't rush your words. You don't shrink after speaking. And people feel that. They adjust. They respond differently. Not because you changed who you are, but because you changed what you rehearse. This is neuroplasticity in real time. Your brain wires itself based on repetition, not truth. Repetition. So if you've spent years repeating limitation, don't expect confidence to feel natural overnight. It won't. It'll feel fake, forced, even uncomfortable. Good. That's the rewiring. Because right now, your comfort zone is built on old scripts. Scripts that kept you safe, but small. And here's the part most people avoid. You don't rise to a new level by feeling ready. You rise by acting against your current script. That means speaking when your mind says stay quiet. That means holding your ground when your instinct says back down. That means tolerating the discomfort of being seen differently before you believe it yourself. Because belief follows behavior, not the other way around. Let me show you how this plays out. You walk into a conversation. Your old script says, "They're more important than me." So you defer. You listen more than you speak. You filter your thoughts. You downplay your ideas. Now here's the dangerous part. The other person picks up on that. They take more space. They lead the interaction. They assume authority. And just like that, your internal belief becomes a social reality. Not because it was true, because it was expressed. Now imagine interrupting that script mid-moment. You catch the thought. You don't fight it. You don't panic. You just question it. Is that actually true? Or is it just familiar? That single interruption creates space. And in that space, you choose differently. You speak. You assert. You stay present. Not perfectly, but deliberately. And over time, those small interruptions compound. Your brain starts collecting new evidence. Wait, we spoke up and nothing bad happened. Wait, they actually listened. Wait, maybe we're not who we thought we were. That's how identity shifts, not through affirmations alone, but through aligned action. You rewrite the script by performing a different one. And eventually, it sticks. Now, here's the deeper layer. Your inner dialogue doesn't just affect how others see you. It affects what you tolerate. If your script says, "This is the best I can get,"
you'll accept less. In relationships, in work, in life. You'll settle, not because you want to, because your internal standard is low. But when that script changes, your tolerance changes. You start noticing what doesn't align, what feels off, what you've been accepting for too long. And suddenly, your environment has to adjust, or you leave it behind. That's the real power. Not just changing how you're seen, but changing what you allow. So no, this isn't just about confidence. It's about authority, internal authority. Who decides your worth? The room or the voice in your head? Because one of them is always winning. And if it's not you, it's your old script running unchecked. Here's your way out. Start noticing. Not every thought, just the repeated ones. The quiet, persistent lines you've accepted as truth. Catch them. Write them down if you have to. Look at them. And then edit them. Not into delusion, into possibility. This will never work becomes this could work if I'm not good at this becomes I'm learning how to handle this. Small shifts, but powerful, because your subconscious doesn't need perfection, it needs direction. And once you give it a new direction, it starts building a new reality around it. So the next time you walk into a room, pay attention, not to them, to you. Because that, right there, is what everyone else is responding to. And if you change that, you don't just feel different, you rank different. If this hit a little too close, that's the point. You're not stuck. You've just been repeating the wrong script. If you want more content that actually challenges how you think, not just motivates you for 5 minutes, subscribe now. Like the video if you felt that shift while listening, because the more you train your mind to notice this, the less control those old scripts have over you. And that's where everything starts to change.